A man suspected of being involved in Tuesday's Brussels airport attack and still at large has been named. Belgian newspaper DH said the man who was pictured alongside the suspected suicide bombers wearing a hat is 25-year-old Najim Lashouraoui, already wanted by police in connection with November's Paris attacks. Earlier, Belgian broadcaster RTBF named the suspected bombers captured on airport CCTV before blowing themselves up as brothers Khalid and Ibrahim El Bakraoui, Brussels residents and both with criminal records, according to RTBF. ISIL claimed responsibility for the attacks at the airport and a metro station. It said all attackers had blown themselves up, but police believe another suspect didn't follow through after they found and destroyed a suicide belt at the airport. An international manhunt for Lashouraoui is underway. A city in shock. Hundreds of people gathered on Tuesday evening in Brussels to honour the memory of those killed in the latest terror atrocity on a European city.
I really want to share the pain and the fact that even if it's not my country, even if it's not really my people, I feel this is my country. I feel this is my city. I know the places, and even if I don't know anyone around here, I feel we live in a world that's it all concerns us.
You
cannot let these acts defeat you, he says. We're all very shocked about what happened. This threat has been hanging over the city. Now that it's happened, we feel shocked, but we're trying to stay strong, he says. We are not afraid. We stand together. There could be another one now, but we are not afraid. We're here. We will fight. We will stay here. They will try to take our freedoms, but we will not change. The city's Place de la Bourse has become a place of reflection and solidarity as 3 days national mourning gets underway.
What happened on Tuesday morning in Brussels has been captured on several videos recorded at the time. At the city's Zaventem International Airport, 2 bombs ripped through the departures hall, leaving behind chaos and destruction. The authorities now believe they were both suicide bombings with the explosives carried in bags, not worn in vests. A third device failed to explode. Eyewitnesses report hearing Arabic and gunfire shortly before the blasts. People ran fearing more explosions or even further gunfire. Around an hour later, another explosion hit the Malbec metro station close to several European Union institutions. A train was just leaving the station when the blast happened. The bomb was apparently detonated in the middle carriage, which was running along the platform at the time. The driver immediately halted the train and evacuated the first and last carriages. Analysts say the attacks were simple but effective, being directed at people concentrated in small spaces. The result has been around 200 injured and a death toll of at least 30. Paris was one of the first cities to begin wearing the colours of Belgium in solidarity after the attacks in Brussels. Hundreds of locals gathered in the square outside the Paris town hall, including the city's mayor, Anne Hidalgo, and the Belgian ambassador. Many compared their feelings to those they'd experienced last year after terrorism hit the French capital. For us, Brussels is a bit like a twin city, so it's extremely moving to see the city targeted today by the same attacks Paris encountered a few months ago. We're very sad, maybe more frightened, but this does not prevent us from gathering here to overcome these feelings of fear and to continue to live. While shows of solidarity have come from many quarters, the pens of artists have also been at work. There's one image by the celebrated cartoonist Plantu, who has aptly conveyed Parisian sympathy, while much-loved characters from France and Belgium, Obelix and Tintin, can be seen comforting each other.
We condemn the acts of terrorism.
Even in Cuba, the victims of the Brussels bomb attacks were remembered in a minute's silence at the start of a baseball match attended by President Barack Obama. It had been a much-anticipated exhibition game between the U.S. Major League Baseball team, the Tampa Bay Rays, and the Cuban national side. But before the sport, there'd been some politics. In an unprecedented live TV address delivered from the Grand Theatre in Havana, Obama had challenged Cuba's communist government with an impassioned call for democracy.
I believe citizens should be free to speak their mind without fear, to organize and to criticize their government, and to protest peacefully, and that the rule of law should not include arbitrary detentions of people who exercise those rights.
After the speech, Obama met in private a group of prominent Cuban dissidents, including the ladies in white who campaigned for the release of political prisoners. President Castro denies holding political prisoners and, when challenged by a reporter, demanded a list. During the meeting, the dissidents gave said list to Obama.
Brazil's embattled President Dilma Rousseff has vowed never to resign, despite a bid to impeach her and a huge ongoing political crisis. She's embroiled in a widespread corruption scandal in which she's alleged to have manipulated government accounts. Rousseff insists she's committed no crime. Former Mayor of Toronto, Rob Ford, has died of cancer at the age of 46. A controversial character, he gained international notoriety in 2013 when he admitted smoking crack during his time in office. A storm of scandals followed, during which he refused to resign. Mostly French-owned energy company EDF has pushed back to May a decision on investment in Britain's Hinkley Point nuclear reactor. France's economy minister says it's the principal nuclear project in the developed world, but it's potentially risky, definitely controversial, and could cost EDF over €22 billion.
Europe lights up in the colours of Belgium. Paris, which just 4 months earlier suffered deadly terror attacks, made the Eiffel Tower turn red, yellow and black in solidarity with their neighbours in Belgium. Another expression of support came from Berlin, where the arches of the Brandenburg Gate were lit up to pay tribute to the victims of the Brussels attacks. Rome's iconic Trevi fountain glowed with Belgium's colours, all very visible expressions of unity in the face of terror.
Leading newspapers worldwide have all featured the Brussels bomb attacks on their front pages. They range from urging defiance in the face of terror to focusing on the suspected bombers, calling them a death squad. Each newspaper in its own way illustrates the menace and violence that's been wrought on the Belgian capital.